where tonight at the historic Beacon Theater, the spotlight will shine on the best women bodybuilders in the world. On the line, their ultimate championship, the 1993 Joe Weider's Ms. Olympia. Hi everyone, I'm John Walls, and as you can see behind me here in the lobby of the old Beacon Theater, the crowd's starting to form for what will be a packed house here tonight, as well as a power-packed night of nothing but raw muscle. Joining me is Carla Dunlap. And Carla, it was what, just a short 10 years ago that you walked away with the 1983 Ms. Olympia Championship.
I'll tell you, it was the best birthday gift a girl could get. And it wasn't diamonds, it was a gold medal, and I have it on my wall on my chest.
Times have changed a little bit, though, since those 10 years have elapsed. I hate to bring Father Time into this, but you look back even as recently as last year to this year, the judging criteria has been altered dramatically.
I was listening to the judges explain to the girls they want full muscularity. They want the girls to develop as much as they can. However, they threw a little wrench into this. They do not want an over-striated look. They want the girls to be full, muscular, separated, but they do not want them to look drawn. They want healthy women.
I mentioned this that we saw in the pre-judging today. By no means were we the only ones to observe this. You talk to the people in the audience, they say, this year's bodies to last year, wow, what a difference. The bodies are just something incredible to see.
Yes, I was very impressed. They're much more feminine than they used to be. A lot more graceful. Boy, they're great. They're massive. They're really, really big.
Each year it seems they get a little bit bigger each time, and they change the judging somewhat, but I still enjoy it. I still think it's good.
I don't think bigger is better, but they are getting bigger. Better formed. I don't want them to look like men, though. I want them to look like women.
Well, there you heard it, Carla, from the people on hand here this afternoon at the pre-judging. Big, big, big. Everybody notices big is in. Now, what I'm wondering, though, is big going to be in next year and the year after that, or is this just kind of a fluke in regard to the criteria?
Oh, no, John, I think big is here to stay. They've allowed the women to go to their full potential. We've been after this for years and years and years, and this is what the hardcore people want to see. They want to see maximum potential.
What they also want to see is Linda Murray go for that 4th consecutive championship. She has won the past 3 Ms. Olympias, but she has a lot of competition this year that's pumped and primed and think this is the year to steal away the title.
Let me tell you, there are women like Laura Craval, Debbie Muggley, Denise Rutkowski. There are any number of women on this stage tonight who could push Linda right out and would love to take that title away from her. Linda is the defending champion. She gets the benefit of the doubt. She's got her work cut out.
Welcome back to Joe Weider's 1993 Ms. Olympia contest. John Walls with Carla Dunlap, and as we watch back, John Walls with Carla Dunlap, and now we continue.
Good evening. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the International Federation of Bodybuilders, I'm very pleased to welcome you to the annual Joe Weider's Miss Olympia competition. This evening, you will see 32 of the world's best bodybuilders from 11 different countries participating in the most prestigious bodybuilding event for female bodybuilders. Okay, now relax, sit back, and you're about to see 32 of the greatest female bodybuilders in the world. Thanks for your support. Thanks for turning out in such large numbers. Thank you.
From that field of 32, we have now whittled it down to 15, and Audrey Harris is the first to take the stage.
Yeah, she's posing to a song that has the words "I'm dangerous" in it. She's a police officer, John. How would you like to have a police officer that looked like that chasing you down?
There would be no resisting arrest. That would not be a problem. Her sister, by the way, is a parole officer as well, so I guess in the Harris family, Audrey picks him up, and her sister puts him out, or at least keeps the tabs on him. They're put out.
I'll tell you something. Audrey's been around. She has beautiful structure, and this is the best condition I've seen her in a very long time. And it's been a real problem for her in the past. Get her head into condition for this. You know, a lot of the women are intimidated by the fact that they don't think they're big enough. Of course, you and I look at them and say, oh, gosh, they've got a lot of muscle, and I think they're plenty big. She's had that problem in the past. development in her back, muscularity is clear. It's a lot cleaner, and she's better conditioned than she has been in the past. She's got excellent thigh sweep, beautiful calves, and she seems very confident this time.
A lot of that has to do, of course, with the facial gestures and what you see. I guess the confidence that she is trying to portray there, but that says a lot to the judges as well, does it? Not a competitor who looks almost pained out there, doesn't have the same sense about themselves in their stage presence as somebody who's smiling through the routines, and it looks like they're exerting minimum effort.
What's more than smiling, John, is the intangibles that a Miss Olympia competitor has to have. And you're right, that confidence has to be there. You can't stumble through your routine. You have to look like you're having fun. You don't want to look where you're going. You want to be able to just glide through that routine, show the muscle, give the impression that you have the best physique on stage, or that you're in the best condition you've ever been in at that particular time.
Audrey Harris, certainly performing her peak here in the 1993 Ms. Olympia contest. The next competitor on the stage will be Shelley Beatty. Shelley is certainly a very familiar face to those who might watch the American Gladiator program. She is Siren on the American Gladiators. Great condition for that program, and obviously superb condition for the Ms. Olympia 93.
Yeah, she's part of the huge blondes, or should we say the big blondes on the American Gladiators. And Shelley has a hearing problem. She took too many aspirins as a child, and it's caused progressive hearing loss.
That makes it all the more remarkable as we watch and listen to Shelley Beatty's performance here and the music that plays in the background. We hear the music very well, but all she has is the sensation of the bass through that hearing aid, but yet she does not miss a beat.
You know, Shelley says that she works with hip-hop kids and that many of the moves in her routines come from being shown all of these moves by these kids that do this hip-hop movement.
Well, she's learned her lessons well. I just think it's remarkable, extraordinary accomplishment. And obviously the crowd responds to it. They love this performance. I mean, how can you not get excited? You see, she's into it, the music's pumped, she's pumped.
She's a joy to watch. Ooh, what a great accent.
And it's not just the enthusiasm or the exuberance that she shows. It's, again, it comes back to the face. She smiles, she responds to the crowd that plays off of that.
Like I said, she's in great condition, and she hasn't been in this kind of condition in a while. Love this.
The versatility of the routine as well is something to look at because she's shown a lot of moves, a lot of different style, a lot of different routine, and to different beat of music. Shelley Beatty, a wonderful performance here in the 1993 Ms. Olympia contest. Shelley Beatty receiving all the applause. Of course, it is well deserved for that routine. Let's now go backstage to Carla, who's standing by with Shelley.
Shelley Beatty. Shelley, I know that you have, we're always harping on the hearing impairment, but with your routines, how do you put your routines together, and who helps you choreograph them?
I have a great choreographer. He's my hip-hop teacher at Gold Gym in Venice, and I go like 4 times a week, and I've learned a few steps with him, but he basically choreographs my routine, and helps me with my counts, and of course I have real bassy music because with the hearing aids I can hear bass and feel it, and I know when I'm on or off the beat. So the hearing impairment thing doesn't really matter because I have a picture up here of what it's supposed to look like, and that's what I try to do.
It helps when you know it that you have fun with it, yes?
Oh yeah, I have a lot of fun with this. It's like a big let go because being tense all the time, I want to be playful because that's more me. I mean, I like to, have fun.
Well, the fun stuff has just started here at the 1993 Miss Olympia, but we continue with the competition from the Beacon Theater in Manhattan. Welcome back to Joe Weider's 1993 Miss Olympia Championship. I'm John Walls with Carla Dunlap, and that is Sharon Marvel, young woman who we saw guest posing at the NPC Junior Nationals in Baltimore earlier this summer. I have to admit, she caught my eye there, Carla. I thought she was in great shape there. She comes in much better condition here.
Yeah, when you're guest posing, you're allowed to be a little softer, you're up in weight. But for competition, you have to bring that body fat down. And here, Sharon has dialed her physique in. She's sharp. She's still got that fullness of muscularity she's famous for. But now you can see major separation, major hardness. Now, John, Sharon is known for her posing. Yeah, she's one of the most popular people hired for guest posing. And you can see she's doing a very controlled posing routine here, showing her physique, which I think the judges like to see. They like to see you show them muscle shots without giving up the entertainment quality of the routine.
You talked about the fullness of her body. I am really struck by her lower body development, particularly the quadricep area there. I think when she hits those shots, it is just wow.
Marvelous legs. Her legs, her underpinnings, have been her trademark for her entire competitive life. Here we go with that quadricep shot. Now you see why she's famous. She's got evenly developed teardrops, good depth from that side shot that we see. You can see the sartorius, which is the muscle that runs down the inside of the leg. The whole quadricep is evenly developed. There you go. Look at that shot right there. You can see the fullness of the side of her thighs.
Sharon Marvel with a marvelous routine here in 1993 Miss Olympia.
Still giving her more applause. Her.
That is a tough act to follow, but Debbie Mugley is going to give it a shot. Debbie, our next competitor here, Joe Weider's 93 Miss Olympia.
Debbie's quadricep development isn't too shabby either, but Debbie Mugley is a school teacher, and I asked her in some of our interviews about her kids' attitudes toward her bodybuilding. She said they just love it.
Well, when she talks and gives homework, it gets done, and they listen, right? There's no rebuttal in that class.
When I think about having a school teacher like that, I would not want her to come after me with a ruler.
Now, what do you make of the lip sync act? That's what I want to know. I mean, how much does that add to the presentation there? Is that just really for her benefit to get her a little more involved?
Well, anything that adds to the entertainment value of the routine within the rules of posing and showing muscle can be done. And if you can do the lipstick well, which is something I think that Lori started, and a competitor by the name of Tanya Knight kind of refined. So now Debbie's doing this. I think it's very effective in the routine here. Let's talk about Debbie's physique as she goes into a little gymnastics move here. Debbie is showing, again, good muscular fullness. She's been placing very high in all of her pro shows. I don't think she's ever placed down the top 5, as far as I know. She is a top contender here tonight at the Olympia, and she will always be as long as she maintains the muscularity she has now. She's a very heavy squatter. She trains heavy, and she believes that heavy training is the way to put the size on.
I feel the women are a little bit more competitive here. I can feel that, and but this, I've never been so motivated to do a show. It's like my very first show. I'm so excited. I get goosebumps. I get excited because it's like 7.5 years I started, and 7.5 years ago, and it's like just to step foot on stage. It's like, everybody comes, I want to win it, and, do well, and this and that the first time around, but just step foot on the stage, it's a dream. I'm so happy to be here.
Welcome back to the Beacon Theater here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. John Walsh with Carla Dunlap. It is now Denise Rutkowski's opportunity to take the stage and have a few moments of glory here as she tries to perform her way to the 1993 Men's Olympia Championship.
Judging from the pre-judging, Denise looked like she's right up there in that top 3 or 4 competitors. Here she's presenting a very sensual routine. You know something, John? Though I seem to remember Ben Weeder saying something about not wanting to see the competitors rolling and crawling on the floor. And part of that is the idea that bodybuilding needs to remain kind of above the table because it's so easy to interpret so many things in bodybuilding as being sexual.
Were you talking to me?
Yes.
Well, it is a much different performance in a routine from what we've seen so far. Of course, a lot of the music has been high charged, and there's been a lot of enthusiasm that's been involved and incorporated into the routine. Here, obviously, Denise goes with a much different motif as far as what she wants to perform. There's a music softer, as you said, it has that sexy side to it.
Definitely sexy. But again, she is really kind of walking the line here as to what's acceptable on stage and what isn't. There's that enthusiasm you were talking about.
Now, you mentioned just a few moments ago that during the pre-judging, you thought that her physique stood out as being one of the better of the competition here. What is it about Denise Rutkowski in her first Miss Olympia that makes you say, yes, this woman has what it takes?
She's got beautiful muscle shape. She's in great condition, meaning that she's separated without being super striated. She's evenly developed all around from head to toe. She's got beautiful calves, hamstrings, quadriceps. Her glutes are tight, which is a very hard area for most women to get into shape and to tighten up. She's got clean-cut abs, beautiful balance. She's just got basically everything. Again, her basic structure has helped her. But as one of the judges said to me in a conversation, you know, when you look at Linda, you're working against perfection. So we'll see if they say that Denise can rock Linda's book.
You can see that she's in ship shape. There's no question about that right now. Whether she rocks the boat of the champ, we'll find out a little bit later. Talking, of course, about Linda Murray, the three-time Olympic with her fourth consecutive title. We'll see her a little bit later on the program. For now, is Denise Rutkowski, front and center on the stage. Denise Rutkowski, live performance here. She now joins part of the backstage.
Denise, this is the first time you've been on the Olympia stage, and I think you're going to have a hard time leaving this building. That routine was hot.
Oh, thank you. I gotta give credit to my choreographer, Rick Adams. And he choreographed it and I worked it.
This is the same Rick Adams that did Debbie Munley that's in, I guess, Dallas.
Rapping Rick Adams, yeah. That Dallas Action, Mesquite, Texas. So, yeah, we're both from Texas. And we both moved out to California. She's in Orange County, I'm in Venice.
And I suppose Rick is out there too.
No, he's still in Texas. We go out there or he comes out here, you know, or out to LA and works with us, so.
Well, now, he has a certain rapport with you guys. Does he try and work with your individual personalities, or does he just pick a piece and tell you, this is the way you have to move?
No, he knows our individual personalities. I've been working with Rick for like almost 8 years. He started me out in bodybuilding. You know, like I was like barely 105 pounds, you know, so he knows like, you know, my personality and what songs I like and, you know, what poses look best on me. And same with Debbie, you know, he knows her individuality, works with her and everything, on what she has, you know, knows best in her music and her poses. So
you very
professional.
You pull that kind of sensuality out from where? Where does it come from?
I don't know, just the love of being on stage and just like, hi!
But you're a performer.
Yeah, it's actually the first one to O2. It keeps you. Yeah, I don't want to get on stage.
Well, you look fabulous out there, girl. Thank you.
Olympia is Dorian Yates, the two-time Mr. Olympian, and Dorian, I don't know if it's too soon to be talking about dynasties or what have you, but yet back-to-back, I guess the repeats in the plans now.
Well, I'm looking forward to being again in September. You know, everybody's asking me, you know, going to be at Manny's record and how I'm going to be competing and everything like that. But to be honest, I'm really not thinking about it. I'm just taking it 1 year at a time. You know, as long as I'm enjoying it and I'm motivated and I keep improving, then I'll continue to compete. So I'm just concentrating on this year. I'm going to be there this year and then take it from there.
How do you like being the top gun? The one that everybody's shooting for, and when they want to see how they stack up, they say, hey, what's Dorian up to? And they take a look at you to really test themselves.
Oh, it's incredible, you know, it's every competitive bodybuilder's goal to be Mr. Olympia. And, you know, I'm just lucky that everything's worked out for me. And, you know, I think this year, I was really pleased with the physique that I presented this year. Although last year, you know, I won a show last year, I felt I could be a lot better. And I think I showed everybody this year what I was capable of.
Congratulations in 93 and best of luck in 94 and the years to come.
Thank you very much.
On stage now is one of my absolute all-time favorites, Diana Dennis, out of California. She and I'd like to think, are soulmates as far as presentation on stage. Diana brings to the sport a spirit and sensuality in her posing that no one even begins to approach.
That's a very difficult combination too, because you're looking at bodies that in some ways are very overpowering, and just in the sheer size and the strength of the muscle project a certain image. But as you said, there's that softer side, the revelation of the soul, more or less, the music selection, and again through some of the posing, that tells you a lot more about the competitor than they just have a big body.
You've got to be more than just the physique on stage. Even though when you line all these women up shoulder to shoulder, you can see there are differences in physique. But you must also be able to see that they're not cookie cutter personalities. Diana brings a sort of artistry to posing, as if you're looking at live sculpture moving across the stage. This is a trademark Diana pose. As is this one. I give Diana a lot of credit. She has a 20-plus or 20-something-year-old son, and she has been in competition since 1980. So, to be around this long, both as an amateur and as a pro, you have to give her credit.
You think about all the years of the diet, the work in the gym, and the work as a mother, and all the other pressures and the strains that come in that regard, and throw that into that basket of bodybuilding, and it says an awful lot about her perseverance and all that she's been able to withstand over the years, as you said. Mesmerizing performance here by Diana Dennis. She concludes her routine here at the 1993 Joe Leader Miss Olympia contest as she heads backstage. Let's see if Carla can track her down. Carla?
Diana, where did you get your inspiration from? I know you're a dancer, and I know you're a performance artist. At any one time when you're making up a routine, do you pull from, let's say, you've seen an AVP performance or something?
I pull from a lot of different sources. I pull from ballet, classical ballet. I pull from dancing. I pull from my friends. My boyfriend helped me. Jody Marie helped me. And I pull from music. Music comes from the heart. That's what moves me. Is the music.
That's what moves Laura Preval. Her competition coming up a bit down the road when we continue with more big bodies from the Big Apple. Past fall's Mr. Olympia competition. Flex, congratulations on the second place finish, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, Carla wants to know, she has been bugging me all day. She says, when you talk to Flex, ask him about being a sex symbol. How is it like being the sexiest man in bodybuilding?
All right, the sexiest man in bodybuilding. Well, if that was really true, it's just, people's belief of how I look and whatever. So, of course, everybody wants to be accepted by the public. So if that's what they feel, of course, I'm going to be happy about it.
But I guess the image that you portray, I mean, can you play on that at all? Can you use that to your advantage when you go to competitions? Because certainly I would think it gives you that extra little bit of appeal to the judges.
Definitely, if you have that type of presence, then it's going to come across with a crowd. And once you walk out on stage, it's going to be a presence set for you. So, of course, it's only going to be in your advantage to that. So.
There's been so much discussion this year in regard to women's bodybuilding. What about the size of the women, how they've taken on greater bulk? Your thoughts about that? Looking at it from the other side of the fence.
Right. Actually, I think this year is probably the best Olympiad that I've seen in quite some time. Out of 30-some-odd competitors, I would say at least 30 of them are in excellent condition. I think they have taken note to what the public has been saying about the way the women look, so I see a lot of them have actually toned down and so on. But once again, I think we must remember that this is women's professional bodybuilding, so as long as it has that title of bodybuilding and not like women's fitness, then it's going to be a muscularity competition. So once they transform, if they do, into more women's fitness, then it'll be more of a fitness show. But as of right now, we must remember that it says women's bodybuilding, so we have to keep that in perspective. But once again, I mean, they are supposed to look like women, and they have to keep that in perspective of their own. So, but as athletes, I tip my hat to them because they're the best in the world.
I want to thank you. Speaking of best in the world, sir, get over the top here soon, I imagine.
I hope so, definitely. See ya.
In progress, we have Nikki Fuller presenting her big blonde physique. Nikki is one of my favorites because she is one of the women who has pioneered presenting an oversized physique to the stage. And now with the judging criteria of looking at allowing women to grow to their full potential, a woman of Nikki's stature and Nikki's muscle size really is blessed to go on in competition.
You talked earlier, Carla, about God-given ability or God-given proportion to your body and having the ability to put certain kind of muscle on your body or on different kinds of bodies. Nikki fits that criteria. She just has a certain gift and is able to put on a lot of muscle in the right places.
Nikki is very tall. Nikki, I believe, is about 5'9". So you figure that someone who is 5'9" is going to have to put on a tremendous amount of muscle to fill her frame out. And when she does that, that means that her weight is going to be up in the 180s or thereabouts. So that previous to this, people looked at a woman with Nikki's stature and said, oh, she's too big, she's too muscular, it's intimidating. But again, like I said, with the current judging criteria, again, women, taller women, are really at an advantage. It looks really like Nikki is having a problem presenting her physique at this point. She doesn't look comfortable. She looks like she's thinking about what she's doing. She really just doesn't look comfortable.
Almost mechanical, you could say, or robotic in some ways.
Awkward. Not much excitement in this routine.
Nikki Fuller completing her routine here in the 1990s as Olympia. She is recovering from an infection that certainly set her back in the training, but still Nikki was able to compete and obviously qualify for the competition. She now joins Carla backstage, and as it turns out, she is the queen of the athlete here.
Your moving routine, did you feel comfortable out there? You looked, sometimes when you turned away from your eyes, it looked like you were a little uncomfortable, but was that just, the way I saw it?
Very uncomfortable. That was the first time I did my routine. I hadn't had a chance to practice, but that's alright because I sure wanted to get her on stage today.
That was impromptu.
That was, I had no choice. I had to train for it.
Oh, that's right, because we had said earlier that you had had a problem, a medical problem.
That's true, and well, basically, it didn't stop my conditioning because I stuck all my diet as hard as I could. But the problem, the practicing and the routine part of it just didn't come in there at the last second.
Hey, you did a great job.
Thank you.
Our next competitor here at the 1993 Ms. Olympia is Kim Chizevsky. Kim competing in her first Ms. Olympia. She was just an amateur a year ago, won the junior national competition, was also the North American champion that qualified her for the professional ranks. And since she has turned pro, Carla, she has taken off. You want to talk about a rising star? Well, you're looking at her right now on the screen.
Yeah, she competed in the Miss International earlier this year, and I competed too. And I sat there and watched her. She was clearly the winner. Sometimes you come in and you look around and say, oh, 2 or 3 people could be the winner. Kim came on stage and she just shone like a star. And that's against veterans such as Debbie Mugley and Sandy Liddell. Just took the stage.
And Carla Dunlap, as you said, had to split that in there. I was on the stage too. Almost a matter of fact that was a great thrill for you, I know, to get back up on the stage and competition.
I have the best seat in the house.
The difficulties from going from amateur to professional, you would think that would be a fairly big jump, but it's one that she's made a lot easier than many people would have expected.
She's very focused. A lot of people don't realize how focused this woman is. She's young, but she's also an athlete who has participated in basketball and track and field, and so she has a discipline. That's something to watch. Glenda had that same sort of background, track and field and other sports, a cheerleader. She brought that professionalism to stage, and it's always felt there.
There's a lot of muscle behind her, too, as you can see, and in front of her. Again, the symmetry, the balance. Kim Suzeski certainly has the whole package. Kim Suzeski competing in her first Ms. Olympia, but I'm sure that must be for her. She now joins Carla backstage to talk about this opportunity, of course, what's down the road for her.
Kevin, how did you come about that music choice? It's kind of cute. It's kind of sexy.
Well, I wanted to stay with something cute, sexy, feminine, and fun. So we really tortured up with music this year, trying to top my international routine. And I heard the song, just fell in love with it, and that's what happened.
Now, are you changing your routines from contest to contest, or are you keeping them for a certain amount of contests before you change?
Really, with the time lapse between the international and this show, I felt that I needed to get something different. So I'd like to, give the audience variety so it doesn't stagnate, and so they don't feel, she did that last time. Give us something new every time.
Now, I just grabbed you right off stage, and I've given everybody else a little time to confess that you seem not too winded. Is that part of conditioning? Do you feel that you should be conditioned to be able to do your routine and not feel like you've just been dragged through a marathon?
Yes, I feel that conditioning is very important cardiovascularly, especially, in the morning rounds when, you have to stand still for so long, keep poses time after time, and I think it really helps a lot with the competition.
Great, thank you, Kim.
Coming up, we explore one of the most popular topics in women's bodybuilding, the battle of bulk versus beauty. Before the commercial, an age-old fight, the size versus the sleep physique. What do you think?
This is part for bodybuilding. This is about muscle size, shape, and condition. Period.
Everybody with this certainly has an opinion about that question. It is the ultimate question. Is bigger better? Well, with that question, we saw the principles involved in the sport. Here's what they had to say.
We're looking for a girl that is not as muscular as an analyst. Somebody a little more slim, but with a real bodybuilder that has the muscle, but is not overdeveloped through the use of some drugs.
I've never really been confused about my own eyes what women's bodybuilding is all about. To me, it's the biggest, most muscular, most symmetrical, hardest woman, of course, who still looks like a woman.
This is what I want to look like. Up here, standing up here, looking what a woman should look like. This is what I want to be. And even if I did not take the drugs to look like that, I'm not saying I take the drugs, but I still wouldn't want to look like that. Even if you get that way without the drugs.
What we did is we tried to follow the model of the International Olympic Committee by doing testing year-round in a random fashion versus just as a competition. If we just do it as a competition, the athletes have too much time to prepare in that manner. So this way, they never know when they're going to get called up for a testing procedure.
And you say it is a random test, and so the competitors themselves really don't have any idea as to when their number may be called, if it is called at all.
They're usually given 24 to 48 hours, and we fly them directly to Chicago.
And how often a year would this be done? If I were a bodybuilder, is it possible I could go 2 years or 3 years or even 2 months maybe without being tested?
Well, since it's random, you don't know who's going to come up in the random pick. An athlete could be picked more than once, but typically they're different athletes every month or so.
When we come back, we'll see what the judges think about the great debate as we continue. 1993 Ms. Olympic competition. We're back at the Beacon Theater here on the Upper West Side of Manhattan. I'm John Walton. 1983 Ms. Olympia Carla Dunlap. You witnessed now the routine of Sharon Bruno. guess, continue the great debate that we talked about there, the bulk versus beauty. Sharon certainly has a nice combination of all the characteristics you like to see in a successful bodybuilder.
Sharon Bruno really is one of the taller women. Again, women now coming into the sport are of a bigger stature. Yet her lines are very long, very lean. She's also a world-class beauty in the position of Rachel McClish, Gladys Portuguese, and more current competitors like Anya Longer and Janice Heck. So here you have a physique and a face. Even though the judges are not supposed to judge above the neck, they're influenced by the looks. Now, you can't say she's not muscular, but again, it's hard to see the difference between, say, a Sharon Bruno and a Linda Murray or a Lisa Wachowski unless they're standing right next to each other. Sharon's physique and her frame holds a good amount of muscle. But again, if you stand her shoulder to shoulder with Linda and Denise, you'll see the difference yourself.
She is so long-waisted. You look at the upper torso there of Sharon's body. She goes so tapered from her upper body, from the shoulder area on down through the waist. How hard is that for her to develop the bulk of the size to compete with some of the other ladies who may be a little bit shorter? And apparently, I guess to give that impression to the judges, they pack a lot more punch to their body.
In some cases, it's just a matter of time. I think Sharon can take more time and put some of that size on. You can see if she does, even from her back, that her development along her back she just needs some work. Her legs are a little slimmer than you see in competitors like Debbie Mugley and Sharon Marble. Again, a couple of more years of work, a couple more years of heavy lifting, but that is a decision that she has to make as a competitor. Because unlike any other sport, you have to wear this physique all the time. You can't just take it off and put it under your bed.
And now she lets her hair down, right? And the judges respond, and you tell me that you're a judge and you're sitting out there. You don't get a little more involved, and now she is kind of trying the crowd a little bit. I mean, they get into this.
You gotta make those judges wake up.
Anybody is sleeping through this routine, they have to have a serious examination. I mean, Sharon Bruno had just lit this place on fire.
I kind of doubt that anyone in this place is asleep at this point.
Sharon Bruno certainly got them going tonight here at the Beacon. A wonderful performance here at the Ms. Olympia. And she heads backstage. So did Carla to try and track her down. Carla?
Sharon Bruno, that looked like retro disco. Is that a fashion statement along with the retro 70s fashions is out now?
Well, I have to admit I'm a diehard disco fan, so I was so excited when it came back I had to use it. It was just a lot of fun. I thought people would have a lot of fun with it, and even though it's coming back, there's so much great response every time I use disco lately, so I think it's just a fun.
It's probably because half that audience out there is old enough to remember those disco days.
I think so. It makes me wonder, what kind of crowd do we attract anyway?
Well, let me ask you this. I've heard, and you can substantiate this, that sometimes you actually pose off the top of your head because it just feels good.
Yeah, I hate practicing that. I always did. I studied dance for 15 years, and even through our lineups, I didn't practice. And it's a bad habit because I'm not always on, and if I forget, especially when I'm supposed to pose, I'll start dancing more. So you can tell when I forget, I'll start to dance, if you know me well enough. But I just feel more free and more comfortable and more realistic with it when I just go and wing it.
Well, I'm not going to disagree with you because that's what I always did. Thanks.
It's more fun, I think.
Absolutely. Thanks to Sharon Bruno.
Our next competitor here at the Ms. Olympia is Sandy Rydell. And we see a different body type, a different version of what women's bodybuilding is all about. And Sandy comes in primed and pumped. She looks to be in great condition for the competition.
I think people really look to see Sandy Rydell because she, more than anyone, gave Corey Everson a chase the next to the last time Corey competed. And when you saw her that year, she looked like her and Corey were cookie cutters. The same physiques, of course, Corey had the better structure, but as far as conditioning and muscle size, muscle separation, they looked like they could have been sisters. What I see now in Sandy's physique is that I think her leg development is a shade off. Her calves, which have always given her trouble, look weaker than they have in a while. And so those points are going to hurt her physique. I mean, you're standing here with the legs of Sharon Marvel, the legs of Linda Murray, Debbie Mugg, all of these people who have very strong underlimbs. And you really have to have a complete physique at this point to break into the top group.
I'm not real.
Well, Sandy is drawing to the end of a somewhat uninspired routine. Oh, John has seen a Mr. Olympia competitor. Let's see what he has to say.
I'm joined now by Sean Ray, who was the third place finisher in this year's Mr. Olympia. And Sean, congratulations on that finish, sir. And I guess first off, about your body type and what the judges are looking for, certainly you fall into line with the symmetry and what have you, and the composition of balance that is so much talked about these days.
I think that's something that has a lot to do with genetics. I mean, there's a lot of big guys in the Mr. Olympia, Dorian Yates being one of them at 5'11" and 200 and something pounds, 260 pounds. But for me, my forte has been symmetry and the shape, and that's got me pretty far. But with the latest trend, I've got to be hard and ripped. And this year, I hit it right on the nail.
Do you have a hump to get over in that regard? Obviously, third place, you have 2 more places to jump up before you walk home with the big title. What can you do to improve to the point that you can walk out with the championship?
I think I just become content with the fact that I've got to get better for myself. I can't necessarily adhere to what the judges' criteria is, which is bigger, bigger, bigger. I think if I get any bigger, I could possibly take myself out of that symmetrical balance that I've always been noted for. So I think I'm just going to try to develop the quality that I have. And hopefully with developing that, I'll be satisfied. And hopefully the judges, maybe the trend will change. Instead of being so big and freaky, that maybe they'll go back to the balanced, symmetrical look. But I'm doing it for me, not for them.
You talk about bigger, bigger, bigger. Obviously, that's what the women here have done this year. They have got bigger, bigger, bigger. What are your thoughts about that, about women's bodybuilding moving in that direction?
I love Linda Murray. I mean, I don't think, given if Linda Murray came in at 200 pounds, that she would look unsymmetrical and unbalanced. To me, Linda Murray is what Miss Olympia is all about. So as far as that's concerned, I think she's a little bit heavier than she was like in 1991 and 92. But she's got the total package. I don't even see the other girls. When I look at Linda Murray, I'm looking at Miss Olympia, win, lose, or draw.
I imagine we're looking at a Mr. Olympia of the future, sir. Thank you for your time and wish you the best of luck in 94.
Thank you. Okay.
Enough talking about Linda Murray. When we come back, we'll see the champ in action. We are backstage at the Beacon. John Walls with Carla Dunlap, and you are looking at the champ on deck. Linda Murray, warming up and getting revved up and ready to go. It has been a long day for the champion. This is during the call-out phase of the competition earlier, and it wasn't a slam dunk by any means, Carla. She was called out on several occasions.
She certainly was, and that's an indication that the judges really are deciding. They're not just putting her in first place. They want to see, and they want to make sure that they're not making a mistake before they place her.
Going back to was 1990, the first time that Linda Murray came out of nowhere to beat Bev Francis to win her first Ms. Olympia title, and I say out of nowhere, almost literally that was the case.
She got a standing ovation, and I went to Dr. Roses and said, don't give it to anyone but her. There she wins.
That, by the way, was in the Beacon Theater, tonight's competition. Moving on now to 1991, Linda Murray, the defending champion, comes in, and we want to talk about a close call. Bev Francis was once again knocking on the door.
She certainly was. At one point, the only people who finished like that was myself and Rachel McClish in 1982.
This is 1992 now. Linda Murray moving on and receiving the word that Laura Graval has finished second and the champion once again for the third time, Linda Murray. And now she moves on to 1993 and her opportunity to win a fourth consecutive Ms. Olympia title. We'll see the polish and really the poise that the champion carries with her onto the stage as she faced her final poses back in 92. But here she is, ready now to, I guess, once again, lay claim to the throne of Ms. Olympia. And again, that polish and poise and confidence. Just look at her walk out on the stage. You know, this woman is a winner.
Oh, absolutely. But she has had to work every single time. And the only time it's ever been a real runaway was 1990 when she took everyone by surprise at the Beacon Theater.
To the tune of the Pink Panther, the First Lady of Bodybuilding does her thing, and you expressed a little surprise at the selection of music.
Yeah, you know, there's nothing wrong with someone having fun with their music choices, and that should be. But I just don't associate this very sophisticated and elegant woman with the Pink Panther.
Well, it wouldn't take Inspector Clouseau to see that she has the right stuff.
Not at all.
Do you think perhaps that she used the music as a contrast, more or less, that perhaps judges expected a certain kind of music or a certain kind of routine, and she uses that much like a pitcher would a changeup in baseball to keep everybody off balance and give them a little something different from what they've seen in the past?
Past champions and great Rachel McClish and Corey Everson and myself always ran under the edit that you keep the judges guessing. Don't let them interpret that you're coming on without taking the time to do something different.
Looking at Linda Murray, there is nothing wrong. There is not a flaw in that physique. If I were in the competition and I'm looking at Linda, I would think, I have a long way to go because they're just
Hold her up to the top every single time.
Linda Murray, the three-time Ms. Olympia, and folks, you can see why. The champion heading backstage to join the former champion, Carla and Linda.
Three-time Miss Olympia, defending champion here. She taunted them, she teased them. She put together a routine tonight that was interestingly hot. How did you put that together?
And I put together, well, I want to do something a little different. I'm always doing lip syncing, so I said, what can I do where, you know, everyone in the audience will know the song as soon as they heard it, and I thought the Pink Panther would be a good one. I know everyone's familiar with that song.
Now, you were talking about moving or taking the walk, the sexy walk.
Mm-hmm.
What did you mean by that?
Well, I wanted to do this like sexy walk on stage, so I was trying to say, well, how can I maneuver up the
stairs or this way. And so I said, oh, well. And the audience, they make so much noise, and they're always great in New York. That's the one thing I love. And I thought, oh, I can't even hear the music, but that's great. They can scream what they want. Now, when you're sitting there thinking about your routine and about your presentation on stage, and you're thinking, what can I do that separates me, besides my physique, from the rest of the pack?
Well, I feel like with all the background experience I've had in cheerleading and performing on stage and using facial expressions and then, showing my symmetry. Something that God gave me, and I know each one of us has something special, so yeah, that's what I'd say I try to show.
Well, you do a fabulous job, and congratulations.
Thank you, Carmen.
Linda Murray, taking on the competition's best shots as they hit her with their best shots. We continue the competition right after this. Bodybuilding, of course, is the sport, but they all play the waiting game as well. Backstage, nerves are on edge as the performers wait for their opportunity to go out tonight and strut their stuff. That's what Nancy Lewis is now getting to do. Nancy, a former USA winner. She also finished second, a very close runner-up position that was to Denise Witkowski, this past year's Japan event, and that's what qualified her to perform here tonight at the Ms. Olympia.
Nancy also has been a top placer in the past Miss International. But tonight, I'm looking at her physique. She looks a little like she's holding some more of her lower body. She doesn't look as sharp as she can look. Her strength has always been her shape. Her physique just is not ready to be on the stage. You can see right here, you can see the side chest shot that she just went through, that there's not that clean separation that you saw in previous competitors like Linda Murray and Denise Witkowski. Just a little softer in the stomach. Though as she flexes, you see more separation. It's just not there. She missed her peak.
And is that a matter of training? Is that a matter of just the luck of the draw? The fact that biologically or physiologically she's just not all together right now? It's just a difficult time for her. What causes, I guess, a competitor to go through these peak times and then kind of lose that peak condition to go into a competition like this?
Sometimes it's too many competitions. Sometimes just nerves or miscalculation in food choice.
Nancy Lewis concluding her routine here at the Ms. Olympia. The next competitor that we will see on stage tonight is Laura Craval. Now, Laura was a runner-up last year to Linda Murray. Very resolute she was in her intentions this year. We spoke to her at the NCC Nationals in Fort Lauderdale backstage. She said, I am going to win Ms. Olympia. No ifs, buts, or maybes.
Well, Laura loves to take this competition right to Linda's nose, and she has done it with grace and style, and constantly improving physique. A good illustration of Laura's determination is I was in guest posing in Toronto around 1984, and I met her courtesy of Winston Roberts. And she looked at me and she said to me, someday I'm going to be on that Olympia stage with you. And you know something? It didn't take her but 3 or 4 years, and that child was up on that stage and consistently moving upwards. Now, she's second only to him.
Child, no more. Laura Craval, certainly better here in the women's bodybuilding ranks, and you can see that she comes into this competition in great physical condition, but again, it's that mental preparation, that aspect of her practice that certainly not very good. I guess performing at this level and coming in as one of the favorites. I've got a comment that I want to ask you about this. It is a most unusual hairstyle. It is not one of the more conventional, orthodox, I don't know how you would otherwise put it, but it certainly is different.
Josephine Baker. Laura explained to me that because of her extensions in competition, that when we saw her at the national, she had braids on. She would cut those out to get her hair being short. And so she let me know that it was in curls, and she thought she looked like Boza. So she went back and did a little fixing up herself. And looking out with this Josephine Baker look.
Climbing around tonight, I mean, she may feel like Bozo, but she comes in certainly one of the favorites to steal away that crown from Linda Murray tonight.
The Lord has another thing. Her husband, Chris Aceto, is very, very renowned with his ability to diet and train. So she has an in-house coach. She lives up in Maine, which is away from everything and all the distractions of the bodybuilding world. And so she can concentrate. Chris does her right to
We talk about Linda Murray and her physique and the lack of flaw. That there is really, I guess there's no deficiency there whatsoever when it comes to Linda Murray. I don't see any major floor profile either.
Again, if you take Laura, it stands right at the dance, Linda, it comes down to structure. At any point turning around, or match or exceed Linda in muscularity, in hardness, in shape. And that it's structure that counts.
Laura Cabral. Fine performance here. She wants to give the champ a run for her money. Very confident. Boy, I joined Carla backstage.
Well, I saw you standing there and you were going over your routine, as several of the girls were. And then when Linda walked out there and there was a change in her music, I heard you just go, I can't believe it. She fired like, same music I used, Black Cat with the roar and then the beats, and I went, oh God, here it comes. But it was a good thing it wasn't like words, at least it was just beats, so it wasn't too bad. Now you said you felt a little shaky in your routine. Do you think that affected your performance?
Yeah, I do. I knew my routine and I knew the song and everything. I was standing back here for like an hour. But then I got out there, my legs, like trying to get them grounded. And they're so shaky that I'm going, okay. I'm trying to hold the poses, like everything is shaking, oh geez. So I hope that smile, I didn't notice it as much as I felt I didn't notice it.
Well, I was watching from the side and judging from the audience's reaction and the routine looked fabulous to me. Did you feel comfortable?
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed it.
That's what makes the difference.
Yeah, that's true. That's the important part.
Thank you.
We can see 13 of the top 15. A look at the dynamic duo still on the run. We come back to the beat of music. We are back at the Joe Weider's 1993 Miss Olympia competition. John Walsh with Carla Dunlap. Continue the routines this evening with the performance of Yolanda Hughes.
I like to call her Yolanda Huge. She's an extremely big woman. But looking at Yolanda's physique right now, she doesn't look as sharp as she usually is. Yolanda normally comes in really separated legs, good hardness, but doesn't look like she needed this time. Blur there on your routine. Looked like she slipped.
A little gymnastics there as well. It's kind of an impressive move. See the little fingertip push.
Well, Yolanda's background is in gymnastics. So these people that say that you build all that muscle, you become muscle bound, that you can't be flexible, I think Yolanda just blows that right out of the water. You have to sit here really, John, and watch this routine. She has a few trademark surprises that she puts in her routines.
You said Yolanda huge. You weren't kidding. You got look at the biceps and the triceps on the delt area there. And she is really loaded. She is. That's some big time strength in her upper body.
Well, gymnastics, again, builds a kind of muscle that depends on how to support the weight. Very similar to bodybuilding, how to move and support weight. And so when you begin to weight train, all of that mature muscle really helps because you've got that foundation there already.
But again, as you said, just not quite tight enough. Yeah, she's got to hold in a little bit of water and it just doesn't come in with that firmness, of course, that is going to allow her to place very high in the competition.
Right, and in previous years, she really has done very well in Miss Olympia. She has the potential to be in that top 6, which she has previously, though she's just edged around 6, you know, and in that lower echelon of the top 5. She just, a moonwalk. Wow. She just really didn't make it this time. John, you also got to remember that unlike the amateurs, these women are still being judged for their routines. Setting up for a back summy.
Whoa! You talk about gymnastics in the background. Well, it certainly came to the forefront there. Yolanda Hughes now will share her views backstage with Carl.
Yolanda, I've watched you for a long time, and one of the things I noticed that you pull from your other experiences in other athletics, and that happens to be gymnastics. Do you think it's unusual that someone with as much muscle mass as you have can move and do the backflips and whatnot that you do?
For a woman, yes. And men as well. Most of the women, they have splits and other unique things, but as far as carrying the body weight over in the air with no hands, it is kind of tough.
What made you think of putting that sort of a move into your routine? And were you afraid that possibly they may mark you down saying that, you know, it's too much gymnastics, it's not enough bodybuilding?
No, because what I do, it picks me out from the rest. Who else can do it? So, and I try and entertain the people, and I think that's what the sport is about, is entertaining as well, not just getting out there and hitting your shots.
And you do it well. Thank you.
Entertainment time it is now for Paula Birkinshaw, our final competitor here in the fabulous 15th. Paula taking the stage here at the Beacon Theater on the Upper West Side. And again, she is the final participant tonight. Of course, she's had a chance to see what happened backstage. She's been able to witness what the first 14 ladies do, and I'm sure a lot of thoughts are running through her mind right now. Have you ever been in this situation where you were the last person to hit the stage, Charlie?
Actually, not in a very long time. My competitive career, I was the last person on stage at the first Americas that I competed in. But it's really an advantage because you've seen what everybody else has done, and now you're going to present your package. When you've got a package like Paula Birkinshaw, that's quite an advantage. Paula is what's known as a giant size competitor. She's been controversial in that the physique when she came in was a little ahead of its time. Everyone said, oh, you're too big, you have to downsize. And oddly enough, and ironically enough, when she did downsize, she came back in, and they decided that they were going to let everybody get bigger. So she's really retooled to what she originally was.
Lids out, see the striation there in her chest. She is ripped. You might have noticed too earlier. Flexion in the deltoid area there. Again, just the strips and the trips and notice the muscles. Really impressive.
I think a lot of people felt that like Paula was overlooked as far as the projection line is concerned. She really looks like she's hard on the planet. And look at that shot. Those deltoids and that upper back, using some rhomboids are big. The pecs, you could probably lay about 2 fingers in the separation for pectoral muscles.
What about our lower body? We spent a lot of time talking about that upper torso, the quadriceps, like the calves often get overlooked by a lot of competitors, or at least they find that to be a very difficult part of the anatomy to work on.
Calves are genetic. We used to say either have them or don't. You can improve them, but what you were dealt with at birth, you have to deal with when you're training. Paula's legs really could stand to come a little more against her upper body, but she's no slouch in the leg department.
And even if she were, I wouldn't tell her. Paula Birkinshaw. Finishing it up. Give the crowd a last chance to take a look at one of the top women bodybuilders in the world. We go from the fabulous 15 down to the top 10. We continue. Olympia Championships, the bright lights on Broadway are ready to shine on our top 10. Of course, we started with a field of 32, whittled that down to 15, and then, as I said, we're just seconds away now from announcing the finalists.
This is heart-thumping time. This is a time I really dislike.
Our top 10 has number 1, Andre Harris. Number 2, Shelley Beatty. Number 3, Sharon Marble. Number 4, Sandy Rydell. Number 5, Debbie Mugley. Okay, number 11, we have Denise Rakowski. Number 15, Sharon Bruneau. Number 19, Linda Murray. Number 25, Laura Craval. Number 14, Kim Shazeski. Those should be your top 10. I think I missed anybody.
No, everybody's in the pool right now. That's the top 10 is somewhat out of that crowd. Of course, is going to be crowned the 1993 Ms. Olympia.
Congratulations.
I guess, Carla, thoughts as to what you've seen thus far on the stages. We've taken away from 32 down to 10.
That's a tough field up there. Everybody up there is sharp and they're very muscular, but we're going to see some real separation as they come down to their top 6.
Let me introduce our special presenters for the athlete in the 10th position. New York's own, you know them both in the acting field. True superstars, of course, the man with the fanciest feet in the business, Mr. Gregory Hines. And currently starring in a Bronx tale, New York's own Chaz Palminteri.
All the stars coming out tonight. Gregory Hines, old buddy of yours, Carl.
Ah, yes, one of my fans, and I'm a fan of his. He calls co-admirers.
Bruno.
Caught her backstage trying to get a part in his next movie. Sharon Bruneau, our 10th place finisher, the young woman from Canada. Of course, we talk about the beauty and brawn, and Sharon certainly fits into the beauty category. And I wonder if this isn't a message of some type that, you know, the looks are certainly very important, but we're looking for a little bit of size this year too, folks.
Yes, Sharon has the type of frame that does need more size to compete against the women who are placing higher than her. She is a beautiful woman, but that's not all it takes to be on the Olympia stage.
Thank you. Congratulations, Sharon.
There's nothing shabby about that 10th
The
place.
9th place finisher certificate and a check for $3,200.
$2,000 will be Jim Quinn and Al Q. Gurley. You've seen these two big guys before. Please take the 9th place award to contestant number 1, Audrey Harris.
Audrey Harris, our 9th place finisher. And I hear some of the catcalls from the audience. I don't think they necessarily agree with what the judges have come up with here. At least in Audrey's case.
Well, you know, when you look at Audrey, like I said, she has a structure that's probably secondary to Linda's. There's some things she needs to do, and I'm not quite sure. You know, she has to be harder. She may have to work slightly more size. Sometimes you don't see those things. But if she gets all of that together, she's not quite as hard here as she needs to be. She gets all together, she could definitely move up in the ranks.
And as I said, though, the crowd not necessarily in agreement with the judge's decision. And it won't be night in, night out. Of course, there's going to be some disagreement. Our 8th place finisher next up is going to be presented 9th place to Audrey Harris, and again 10th place to Sharon Bruno.
Very close friends. They battled for 2nd place behind Dorian Yates of the Olympia. 2nd place finisher Flex Wheeler. 3rd place finisher Sean Ray. Flex and Sean, please take the certificate and the check for $2,500. The contestant number 5, Sharon Marvel.
I'll bet this is another decision that New York does not like to see, because Sharon is from the New Jersey area, New York area, and she's a trainer here. People love her. They love to see her guest pose. They love to see her in competition.
So much for the home field advantage then, or at least the home stage advantage. As I said, Sharon right here in her own backyard, coming up a little bit short. I'm sure somewhat disappointed by the finish, too.
Yeah, and you know, it's really been a move down for her, which is not a good thing to have happen. She's placed higher in the past.
And Sean in Atlanta next year, side by side again. Get them.
Flex Wheeler, Sean Ray, two of the more prominent men bodybuilders, 2nd place finisher, 3rd place finisher in this past Mr. Olympia.
Hand up the check and the certificate.
Sharon Marvell places
The
there.
biggest little man in the history of the sport at 4'10", 143 pounds. Fabulous Flavio Boccianini.
Boccianini, you gotta love that name.
Mr. Olympia story
Yeah,
Iron
sounds
Man.
like
I
a distant
described
relative to
this next
botulism.
gentleman's front lat spread.
And I've heard about him. He's a very
the bad dude.
small structure, but he packs a lot into that small structure. Someone said of him, he always looks like he is absolutely carved out of
In the
granite.
7th place.
Talking about the big and the small bodybuilding.
Twins.
Dorian Yates, Mr. Olympia, as they present the 7th place trophy to Shelley Beatty. And again, I think that's kind of a shocker there, and I'm sure Shelley putting on the good front here, but again, some disappointment and just that feeling of emptiness. She came up a little bit short and didn't quite perform or didn't quite finish as high as I'm sure she thought she would have coming in.
The audience went absolutely silent.
Sharon Bruno, Audrey Harris, Sharon Marvel.
Yeah, Shelley really puts a lot into her routines and into her training, and I think everybody was really disappointed.
We're making our way toward the crowning of a champion. When we come back, the Super 6 from New York.
Promoter Wayne DeVilla, who has some special instructions for the young ladies.
We are down to the Super 6, the final 6 competitors in the competition. Sandy Rydell, Kim Shazetsky, Debbie Mudley, Laura Creval, Denise Rutkowski, and Linda Murray, the 3-time Ms. Olympia.
And John, I want you to watch this because this is very interesting. They're going to take them through their paces again. Pretty much similar to what we saw at prejudging.
Want to turn to the right.
This is the symmetry. They're checking the women's symmetry from all 4 sides.
You have to remember, too, that the women have already been through the prejudging phase of the competition. Earlier in the day, that was actually. Then they have come back here in the evening, and once again are going through a very rigorous competition. They're tired by now. I mean, their bodies have been through a torturous schedule, And now they have to dig down deep into that reserve and try to come up and summon some type of effort here that's enough to put you over the top, because this, unlike other competitions where the pose down is used to crown an overall champion, this really matters here as far as places 1 through 6 goes.
Sure, the judges are going to give them points for this. This is really known as the fourth round.
Yeah.
They're now going through the muscularity portion of head-to-head competition, and this is brought about because this will be the first time the judges have seen these 6 women isolated, shoulder to shoulder, for themselves, with no other distractions on stage. They're doing a side chest here, as you can see.
Turn to the rear.
All of the women are showing
What
their best sides, but they're really thinking, this is no walk in the park. They're thinking, I'm in the money now. They know they're in the money. Now it's a matter of deciding who is Miss Olympia.
How coincidental is it that Laura Creval has found her way to get beside Linda Murray once again?
You know, Laura does not leave things to chance. She knows that last year she was in second place. She is not leaving an opening for anyone else to get in there. She's going to battle right down to the wire. And she knows that her closest, or she thinks that her closest competition is Linda. The side tricep. She's right up in Linda's back.
You see Denise Rutkowski too. She learned her lesson from earlier. Again, when they were called out in that group, the 3 of them, she almost neglected the other 2, was off to the side of the stage on her own, and realized, hey, wait a minute, they're going head-to-head over there, so I'm going to sneak in there as well. Well, this time around, again, she has made it very clear that her intention is to be able to down and hit their thighs as well. And look at those shots.
Ooh, that's a lot of quadricep up on that stage. A lot of quad.
Relax. If the music man is ready, hold down.
Here we go. This is, when I was a competitor, this was the most fun because it didn't get nerve-wracking until afterwards. But this is where you just went elbow to elbow. You went right to the edge of the stage, and you whipped the audience into a frenzy. When I was doing this, Rachel McClish would be up and she would run to the edge of the stage. We'd all run to the front of the stage. Then somebody would decide to go to the back of the stage. We'd all run to the back of the stage. It was exciting.
What number do you like out there?
Yeah.
You like them all. That's what makes it so hard. You can state a case for any one of the ladies still up there on the stage. That's why they're in the final 6.
I'll tell you something. Everybody is rooting for their particular favorite. Of course, you know, the incumbent may or may not be Miss Olympia. And looking at this year's lineup, Linda's working hard. It's Denise and Linda in the center of your stage, and now we see Laura and Kim Giuseppe over to the left. Those quadriceps. Whoa! Here comes Debbie Muggley joining Linda and Laura and Denise and Kim. And there we see everybody giving their best shots. This is so exciting because, you know, when you get into this year, huffing and puffing, you're trying your best to say, I am the best person on the stage. I deserve to be Miss Olympia 1993.
Come on, let's make a little noise out there. There's 6 fantastic athletes.
6 of the best bodies in the world on stage.
Should be the best step in the history of the show.
Not much question about that. You want to talk about a team field. Again, I am glad I'm not sitting down in the front row here as one of the judges. You've got to decide places 1 through 6 because you could very easily come up with a reason to put anybody in any particular order. But again, it is Linda Murray, the gal on the left there, as we believe her, who has won the past 3 Miss Olympias, came in very much the favorite. But there are 5 ladies who would like nothing more than to upset the champion. We'll find out if they got that job done when we crown Miss Olympia 1993, in a moment of truth. John Walls with Carla Dunlap as the final 6 contestants have finished up with the pose down phase of the competition, round 4, and now will crown Miss Olympia 1993. Our 6th place finisher about to be announced here in Manhattan.
The 6th place award to Sandy Rydell.
Okay, I would have guessed that one. I thought Sandy's legs, like I said, had lost to some extent. And she always has a problem matching up with the other women as far as the leg department is concerned. So I can see that.
Yeah, I sense a feeling of resignation from you, maybe from Sandy as well. That was all right. That was okay. It was about as best as could have been expected in the circumstances.
We'll present a certificate and a check for $5,000 to the 5th place finisher, Kim Shazetsky.
I'm sure a lot of people would have liked to see this newcomer place a lot higher, but lack of experience, I think, may have set her right as she is. That's not shabby, John. That's not shabby to finish in that position in your first Miss Olympia.
She's only been a professional for 1 year. She won the NPC competition a year ago, was first at the most recent Miss International.
Award of $8,000 and a certificate will be presented by Nancy Cesari of 80 Beaters by Nabisco. In 4th place, in that check for $8,000, Debbie Mugley.
Okay, now here's something where I said, if you stood Mugley against Lenda, you would see that she has some structural problems. Even though her structure is better than some of the people who placed lower, she's still got some deficiencies.
And you still hear some of the booing. You can't please everybody. There are fans of each of these ladies out there who are disappointed that their favorite didn't finish any higher.
Okay, so
we're talking about the top 6 women bodybuilders in the world.
3rd place check worth $14,000 to Laura Cravel.
Ouch. Ouch. That really, I mean, Laura's face is not showing any sort of reaction one way or another. But after placing 2nd last year, I mean, this sets her back to her 1991 finish of 3rd place.
A young woman from Guyana, again, as you said, not showing much disappointment at all right now. Maybe masking a bit of that disappointment as she slips from 2nd to 3rd, and so that leaves us with Denise Witkowski, and again, the 3-time champion, Linda Murray.
John, you know, I can tell you what's going through Linda's mind. You can hardly breathe right now. You really don't want to listen to what the announcer's saying, but you're praying that they're going to say your name.
From Pro Fitness Sportswear will present the 2nd place check of $20,000 to the runner-up, Denise Rakowski.
There you go.
So Linda Murray, once, twice, 3 times, and now 4 times a champion.
And you know, Witkowski is very, very happy at this point. It's her first Miss Olympia, and to come in and rattle the rafters underneath the current Miss Olympia, hey, that's some first-time showing.
But Linda Murray on her way to perhaps breaking Corey Everson's 6-time champion record that was set. It was a great reign indeed, but Linda Murray on her heels. She has 2 more to go as she receives the congratulations from the other finalists here
Let's get a picture
at the 1993 Miss Olympia. But you're looking at the champion, Linda Murray.
You know, you say 2 more years, but each year gets tougher because people like Denise Witkowski come in and they want your crown. And you know, there's a lot of pressure being a champion. So I congratulate Linda, and I say, when you come back next year, girl, you gotta come back better than ever.
Well, we know the rest of the competition certainly will. You look at Laura Craval and Denise Witkowski, a couple of young ladies who very much would like to take over that title, but Ben Weeder, the man who got this whole thing started as the founder and the president of the IFBB, presents Linda Murray with her 4th Ms. Olympia medal.